Chud 327 right here with Troy number 6, and it's slow as Christmas. I need to do the pulley flop on this, but I got another plan. And the way it looks now, I had it sold to a guy, but I was not going to sell him my good tires. I put on these turf tires, small crappy ones on the front, cut ones on the back, and I had these super crosses on the back. I'm going to put these back on it, and I got big tires that go back on the front of it. But instead of doing a pulley flop, here's what I'm thinking. It's got a pulley like this on the front right now. This is your deck pulley, this is your drive pulley. And last time on Troy number 5, I flipped it over, drilled a hole in the crankshaft, put a bolt in it. I got a lot of bad comments about that. I'm going to try it a different way this time. I've already got the belt. What I want to do is get some bolts that are this much longer than the stock bolts and get some spacers. Bolts and spacers, 4 of them. Jack the engine up, and that will jack the pulley up. You'll be using this as your drive pulley, no holes in the crankshaft, plus that gets your engine 4 or 5 more inches up out of the water when you're going through the mud. That'd be a win-win-win. It's time to get started on it. Do the pulley, what do you call that? Do the engine lift and the tires reinstalled, and we'll go for a test drive. So here on the Troy, the only thing I've done so far, I took out the 4 motor mount bolts. The engine is now loose. If we look underneath, I've got the belt halfway off. I got to get off this belt keeper, the other belt keeper, this big belt keeper. I've got to take the pulleys off because the hole's too small in the frame for the pulley to go, the bottom pulley to go through. Anyway, once we get the pulleys off, get the engine pulled, we'll start working on the lift. So the engine is loose, the stock pulleys are off. There is a stock motor mount bolt. It has about 1.25 inches worth of threads. From the center of one pulley to the center of the other pulley is about 4.5 inches. So if I get 4 or 5 inch bolts and some 4.5 inch spacers, we'll be golden. It is now time to go to the hardware store. I guess I'll leave the engine sitting in place. On a side note, just the other day I got the neighbor's go-kart running. Now I kind of want to get my go-kart running. On another side note, this lawnmower wants a vertical shaft engine, a horizontal shaft engine. Check out right here on the ground. A Honda vertical shaft. I think they said it was a 9 horse. And then I'm toying around with this one, making it a race mower, because this one is too beat up. Gotta find an engine for it. And there's Pulley waiting to hit the mud. I painted him all black in the back. I tried to put the fenders off of that one onto this one, but it wouldn't work. There's 1, 2, 3, and 1 to go. And now smooth off the edges a little bit. Here are my 4 spacers. Now I need 4 longer bolts. Okay, brace yourself. This is looking good. This is just the mock-up, it's not bolted up yet. I gotta get the 4 bolts still. I've not seen this done before. I still gotta bend up those tabs under here where the old belt keepers were. Take off that bolt, put the new pulleys on. So 4 bolts, bend those tabs, remove those 2 bolts, get the longer belt put in. Oh, and the exhaust, I think it's going to be loud. Here's the muffler, here's the exhaust. I'm not about to, we're going to leave it loud. Might be time for some custom exhaust. Anyway, let's focus on this pulley first, and then we'll think about the exhaust later. Looking good. So it looks like I need 4 bolts about 6 inches long. And one catch, the carburetor's here. I'm going to need at least this much gas in the tank. At least you'll never run out. You can always blow some more into the carburetor to get home. I can be able to lift the gas tank 4 inches. And up next I need to get this from under the hood for a little extra clearance. See what I'm saying? That should be easy to get out. And now with that plastic cowling air funnel removed, the engine has plenty of clearance. Hood closes. We could have lifted another 4 inches if we wanted to. Then the gas tank wouldn't have worked at all. Anyway, I got to stop this and go get some bolts. Here are my 3 lift kit bolts. Number 4 is right here in place. It is screwing in as we speak. So the lift kit is in place. The bolts are tight. I just removed these two belt keepers, and there are 3 tabs that I need to bend over. Maybe you can see them better from up here. See that tab right there? There's 3 of those. I'm gonna get the hammer and beat those over. Then we can get the pulley on. Speaking of the pulley, it was about time to change it anyway. Check this out. The pulley was wearing out. You can see daylight in that crack right there. That probably would have broke soon. So doing this lift kit, it's a good thing. And I painted it Massey Ferguson gray. Make it stand out a little bit. I've just ripped off the old belt. It looks like it was just in time. It's looking pretty crappy. And the new belt, we're going with a 5/8 by 73 inch. Go ahead and get that baby put on. It is update time. The engine lift kit is completely installed and tight. The pulleys are on. If we go underneath, even the new belt is on. I've got the big butt front tires on. These used to be rear Troy wheels. I took a drill bit, now they're front wheels. And I've got the cut turf tires on the back. I might run them like this for just a few minutes. You know, same size on the front, same size on the back. And then we can put on the Supercross. Those are 2011 8s. These are 28 8s. And the front 28 8s. To drive Troy number 6, I gotta get through this maze. I got a go-kart, the Zombies, Future Race Mower, Poland, the Boys Murray. I think I can squeeze through right, yeah, I think we can make it. Anyway, I've got my gas can, it's empty. I'll probably have to go get gas before I can do a mud run. Maybe I can go do a speed check real quick. So I went to go for a test drive and a belt kept popping off. I happen to have this hurricane strap that I bought from my homemade pontoon boat. If you've not seen it, I'll leave you a card for it right here. I actually built 2. I think number 2 is better, so I'll leave you a card for it. Anyway, I've got this pulley here. I'm going to use it to help me build a belt keeper for that front pulley so the belt don't keep falling off, so we can actually do a speed run and some mudding. This is what I came up with. I just got to crawl up on the tractor and put it on, and I've got some self-tapping screws. They'll get the job done. I'll show it to you once it's installed. And with a couple self-tapping screws, the belt keeper is on. Custom belt keeper. The belt keeper is now on. I think it's time for a test drive. And this mower pushes really, really easy. Some of them don't like to push easy. This one pushes super easy. This one in Silver Bullet pushes easy too. So I got it up to 10 miles an hour and I felt a little bit of a pop. Then I was smelling some belt. I'm hoping it's that little belt in the back. Let's investigate. Yeah, it's that little crappy belt in the back came off. Okay, tomorrow I work right beside Tractor Supply. A few minutes from Tractor Supply. I gotta get a new belt. Do you remember when I said it was an easy one to push? It's a good thing. I've only got to go that far. So after work yesterday, I stopped by Tractor Supply and I picked up a 1/2 inch by 34 inch belt. Last time I did this on Troy number 5, the pulley flop, I used a 1/2 inch by 35 inch belt. It seemed to work really good, but they didn't have any 35 inch ones. And the stock belt's a 35 by 5/8. It seems to fly off the pulley at top speed. I don't want it flying off the pulley. So I gotta get that guy installed, and then we'll go for another top speed run. with the lift kit Troy belt. I took out these 2 bolts, I loosened these 2 bolts, I lifted up and I put that board between the tire and the fender, and that gives you some space between the pulley and the frame. The belt is now on, both belts are now on. Had to put the spring back on. Once I get these 2 bolts back in, those 2 bolts tight, speed check time. So there's a storm brewing. I think I'll call it quits on this video, and in the next episode, put the Supercrosses back on. And one more thing, I might take these back loose, put some Loctite on them, maybe even a lock nut on top. They're not loose, but they've moved around a little bit. Other than that, She's ready to rip.